Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the CANAS podcast. It is me, Victor, and...
me, Salso.
There you go. Perfect. We're a lot to talk about yet again.
Yep.
So, we'll do some tennis, golf. I mean, the end of the Masters was last week, so I guess we'll just recap it because now we have all the results and we're recording at the time. Baseball, basketball, hockey, some soccer news. So let's start with
other sports, I guess.
I guess so.
Let's just get to it.
Yeah, we'll finish off with hockey as per usual though, because there's some stuff happening in the league right now, which is quite interesting actually. So, let's start. What do you think about tennis today? I'll start with some tennis. I don't think we ever started with tennis, so let's do that.
We've started like half our episodes with tennis.
Oh, soccer. It's always been soccer.
And tennis.
Nah, whatever. We're back to tennis.
We'll go back to tennis.
Felix lost again in his first round matchup. Technically the second round, he was like the number 3 seed and he lost again. So it's like, okay, you know what, whatever. Like he's not doing well. He's in a slump, unfortunately. I don't know if his ranking's probably gone down a little bit too, to be honest. So
wouldn't be surprised since he has been getting eliminated in the first.
He's been getting crushed, man. Like it's actually not even been close. Like he's just been getting absolutely destroyed. It's unfortunate, but because he's so much better than what he's playing right now, it's just so unfortunate.
He'll bounce back.
Yeah. Shapo was in the last tournament. And then our women are playing in the female version of like the Davis Cup, I guess, for tennis. So they're up 2-0 on like Latvia. They damn well better be up 2-0 on Latvia. Let's not even kid ourselves. So last I checked, they might have already won by now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you know. That's it for tennis. Like, there's no big tournaments coming out. I mean, the Rolex or Monte Carlo Masters are on right now, but again, all the Canadians are out. Like, they're just not playing well right now. I don't even think Shapo played in the tournament. Just Felix, and he lost in the first round. Sorry, the second round, his first round. Next, let's do soccer really quick, maybe. Alfonso, Davies, and Bayern Munich got eliminated from the Champions League. I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest shock. Honestly.
I've been busy with work, so I haven't been watching.
Yeah, they got, and then apparently if Fonzie made a mistake in his last game and people were ripping on him for it, but it's he single-handedly saved in the game prior, so it's y'all can calm down a little bit.
He's also coming back from
COVID. Yeah.
So
100%.
Calm down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
calm down, people.
And I think the biggest news though was Stephanie Labbe has played her last game in a Canadian uniform.
Yep.
She's now done. For her professional football career as a player.
Down the keys to the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah, she's no longer the Minister of Defense for Canada. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's now on Kaylin Sheridan, who is an unreal keeper herself. So that's we're in good hands. I think it's sad. Yeah, she's unreal. She was instrumental to that gold medal. Player of the year for sure. I don't understand how she didn't win goalkeeper of the year. That's highway robbery. I don't get it. But whatever. FIFA doesn't like Canada anyway, so whatever.
That's why we got picked last.
Yeah, right. Did you, when we were doing the draw, did you not think of this is us in the playground for kickball or something?
Right?
That sucks, man. Yeah.
Our first time in 36 years. Oh, he sucks. We're not gonna pick him, and then we'll definitely prove him wrong, and then they'll be like, oh, they're actually good.
Yeah. We'll do more of a preview show, Significantly closer to it. Probably first week in November, we'll do a preview show for the Olympics. Oh, yeah. Sorry, for the World Cup. Because, at that time, we're going to have definitely, more knowledge as to who the squad's going to be. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something, during the summer after, the Nations League tour, where we can just talk about, who we think should be on the team, too. We can do something like that. That's fine. Like that, yeah. There's a lot of good young Canadians that are going to be available for it, including a couple of guys playing over in England right now that can play for England if they want, but I think England is not looking at them at the moment, so it'll be nice for Canada to maybe give them a chance.
To scoop them up.
Yeah. It's not that I don't think they're good enough for England, because, Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world, honestly. But honestly, Jonathan David, is he not getting pretty close to him right now? I think David has to prove maybe play in the Premier League for that. But he's doing really well in France, in the French league, Ligue 1. So, we'll see. And then I think, apart from Labbe retiring, Christine Sinclair scored against Nigeria in their 2-2 draw as well. So she's extended her professional record to 189 international goals. So
dang,
I'd love to see. Do you think she will ever hit the 200 mark? She said she's going to play in the next World Cup.
I was going to say, if she said that she was going to play in the next World Cup and she's at 189, I can see that. I can see her getting to 200.
Yeah, I mean, especially like we're going to be playing against like the Trinidad and Tobago's of the world in like in the CONCACAF qualifiers for the World Cup. She's a chance, and Bev Priestman I think will do her best to like help that happen. She's not old by any means. She's still playing a really young game. Really, she's moving really well, and she's so smart. And she's not overexerting herself at all, which is really nice to see. So hopefully she has a lot more years with her. So, anyways, you want to go baseball real quick?
Sure.
So the Toronto Blue Jays had a pretty decent start to the season. Like their offense is pretty great, apart from like 2 shutouts against the Yankees. Honestly, though, by far their biggest issue, like it's not even close. It's the pitching.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not even close. It's only like not even 2 weeks into the season. Okay, I get it. We're overreacting probably. But like right now, for this team to be a legitimate World Series contender, they need to add a pitcher. And I don't think it's going to be an ace. It's going to be a top 3 rotation pitcher. Because like Gausman and Barrios, between the two of them, and Manoah, between the 3 of them, yeah, we have an ace when they're playing at their best. You know what I mean? And then we have that Hyunjin Ryu and that Taneka guy, I think. I forget what his full name is, but it's something T, starts with a T, ends with an A, and he's a Japanese pitcher, if I'm not mistaken. So, something like that. But Hyunjin Ryu, he was an ace when we signed him to that massive contract. And now he's like barely a rotation arm. Like it's just not good. So I'm hoping he figures it out, because last year he wasn't great either. He started off the year okay, but he was really bad in the last 2 games. But we'll see. I mean, our bullpen also gave up the winning 2-run home run in the top of the 9th today, so that was just unfortunate, really. But they need bats, man. Like Vladimir Guerrero also hit Vladimir Guerrero's game against the Yankees. His 3 home run and a double game.
Yeah.
Did you see the newspapers in New York after that? Like
no.
They're like, Vladdy like owns stripes and whatnot. Like they were praising Vladdy. Like everyone's in shock of how good he was that game. Like Aaron Judge, he's like, man, like I hate the fact that I had to witness it on my end, but like holy cow, and that guy's good. Like just he's getting so much respect from the league, man. He's just such a pure hitter, such a pure player. We already have injuries though. Teoscar Hernandez injured. Ross Stripling had to play the last game against the A's. He's not usually a starter. He's like our 6th pitcher. I don't know why. Like are they going on like 6-pitcher rotation right now? Or is it?
Seems like it.
Right, but like Barrios and Gausman didn't get 6 pitches. Or 6 didn't get a day between starts. It was just Hyunjin Ryu, and I guess now Alex Manoah and our Japanese friend there. I forget what his name is again. I'm sorry. Well, anyways, it'll be I from the beginning I said that pitching was going to be our issue, but we can outbat everything. Teoscar Hernandez unfortunately is injured, and I think Jansen's also injured. He's Hyunjin Ryu's personal catcher, and he didn't play today. So for me, that tells me that he was injured. At least, he had to have been. But I guess we'll see. And then
the season is short, or not short.
It's a long season. Yeah.
So we'll see. Like they have like a lot of games left. So
yeah, I'm just really not patient. Like this is the AL East is the best division in baseball by far, not even close. And
like it's really close right now, besides the Orioles, but
yeah, and they're all within a game, aren't they? Like what? The Blue Jays are 5-4.
5-4. Boston and New York are 4-4, and Tampa is 4-5. So.
Yeah, so I mean, still in first, but like the Blue Jays should be doing better, especially against the A's. The A's are not a good team. They gave up everyone. Like they got rid of everyone because they want to cut their payroll. That's something that's actually broken about baseball. Hey, like the difference between like the A's and the Dodgers is $210 million in the payroll a year in players. Like the majority,
that's crazy.
Max Scherzer, I don't think he's for the Dodgers. I forget where Scherzer went. But Max Scherzer makes more than like 4 entire teams' payrolls.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So like the fact that there's no
crazy.
salary cap, like it's gonna like Baltimore is never gonna compete or do well solely because of that. right? Like,
yeah,
just I don't know if shocking is the word for it, but it's like I'm thankful the Blue Jays are willing to spend money because it's like they're being smart about it too. Like, Canada is not necessarily that much of a baseball country. Canada is a country that will support teams that do well. I mean, we'll support our hockey teams no matter what. But we also support our teams like when they start doing well, then it's like, okay, like I don't know if we're like bandwagon hoppers or anything, but like we're it's a whole country that you're playing for, right? So I mean, Rogers, it's smart on them, really. The marketing they're getting from this is just nuts. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this week goes. I'm hoping they go I think they have 6 games. I'm hoping they go 4-2 at the minimum. They need to win the next 2 games against Oakland. Like, there's no excuse. Because then they play the Astros soon. And then I think it's the Red Sox soon too, isn't it? And the White Sox at some point. Let's just put it this way. They don't have an easy schedule coming up. They're going to be tough schedules. It's like we don't get to play against the lowly teams in the NL too much, unfortunately. So, whatever. I mean, I guess to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? So it'll be.
If you want to win the World Series, you're gonna have to beat the best anyway. So might as well just quote unquote practice for the playoff run.
I mean, we're gonna be in playoff mode all season against the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Rays. You know,
definitely
all season. Yeah. So I guess moving on to golf real quick. So the Masters finished. Scotty Scheffler crushed it. It wasn't even close, really. Although that final round by Rory McIlroy, unbelievable. Yeah. Did you see his chip in? And then coincidentally, Colin Morikawa's chip in right after. That was one of the coolest things I've seen in golf in such a long time. Anyways, they're not Canadian. You know who is Canadian? Corey Connors. Tied for 6th. He's getting better. Every single Masters tournament, he's getting better and better. You know what? So, you know what screwed him up this weekend though?
What?
His putting. He was amongst the worst in the entire field in putting all week. Everything else was great. His driving, he was consistent. His approaches were consistent. His putting was atrocious. He did not make strokes in the putting. He lost a bunch of strokes there, and he still finished tied for 6th. Corey Connors works on his putting in the Masters. He'll probably be the next Canadian to win a major.
I can see that.
I'm hoping so. He would be really good for the President's Cup, though, right? Because it's a scramble for a while, isn't it? There's it's a certain type of scramble. So he'll just drive it in, do a nice approach, and then his teammate hopefully will putt it in. So they just have to pair Connors with a good putter.
Good putter, yeah.
How do you practice your putting though? Hey, do you just go on random greens and just start putting? Because you need to learn how to read the break, read the lie, read all of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of hate to break it to you, but there's a lot of science and physics that goes into putting. It really is. And a lot of it's gut feel too and everything. And everybody's a different type of way of reading putts, I guess, you know? Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. I hope he works on that, because if he works on that, he could compete in a majority of tournaments that he plays. He's only won one tournament. But he's only ever won once. You know, you would want him to win a little bit more. I mean, only winning once still makes him a few $1 million a year. So it's whatever, man. Whatever. He'll win a tournament again at some point, I think. He's getting better little by little. It's just, again, the putting is something he needs to work on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then Brooke Henderson, just, doing Brooke Henderson things, consistently in top 10 in every tournament. She's the best Canadian female golfer. It's no question. She's won a major. Actually, I think she's won 2.
I think she's won a couple, yeah.
Yeah. Good for her, man. I think what she mentioned that her favorite win of all time was her win in the RBC Canadian Open. That was a pretty cool win with her sister on the bag. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been sweet. No. Anyways, super quick. So basketball, the Raptors started their playoffs today, Saturday, the day of recording. They got demolished in Philly by 20 some points, and Scotty Barnes left injured.
That was by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's how the entire series is going to go by any means. But I do think it's a nice wake-up call, because this is a majority of them are young guys with not much playoff experience. I think the only guys with experience in the playoffs there would be Van Vliet and Siakam. Because, Gary Trent Jr.
came after.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes after. OG Anunoby only played the one series against Boston, the play-in thing. Not much there. And then Chris Boucher didn't get any minutes, What's that like albino looking guy? The point guard that we drafted this year.
I don't know, but
you see a picture of him, you're definitely gonna know what I mean. All right,
you just confused the heck out of me when you said albino.
He's like a redhead. He's like super pale.
Ginger.
No, he's super pale.
He said he's a redhead.
Yeah, so he's like
he's a ginger,
albino ginger. Yeah. What is his name, man? He's a young guy. He just got drafted this year too, in the second round, I think. He's a point guard. Anyways, yeah, he doesn't have any playoff experience too. This team's just not deep enough, you know. It's not deep enough. But I still think we'll win against Philly. I don't think we make it past the second round though.
Like we even said a while ago that we'd be surprised if they made it to the playoffs, and they made it to the playoffs. Yeah. They didn't even need to play.
Pleasantly surprised. Yeah.
So, like for this team to make it to the playoffs, I'd say that's a win for the season.
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge win.
And then in the offseason, they can probably get better players, and then just instead of being fifth or sixth, they can be like second or first, maybe, or third, top three in the conference. So, like right now, it's more. Well, you obviously want to win, but it's more just enjoy it and focus on winning, and then if you don't, just keep moving forward.
It's Matt Flynn.
That's like the whitest white name.
Yeah, and he's like so white, dude. Anyway, whatever. Nothing wrong with being white. Nope. Okay. Anywho, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors win, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Philly wins. It's just Philly's a really good team too. It's a true 4-5 battle, man. Like it was just a bad first game by the Raptors, but Nick Nurse is quite possibly one of the best coaches in the entire league. So I don't see how they go back to back just horrible performances like that. So I'm fine. I'll be okay. I believe in them. Oh, yeah. They'll come back.
It's just a speed bump.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly it. So, should we move to hockey then? I think that's it. Hey.
Yeah, like F1, Latifi and Stroll. Well, they did crash in the last Grand Prix, but other than that, for Canadians, they're not really doing much. And then the biggest surprise is Charles Leclerc, but he's not Canadian, so whatever.
I don't think Latifi and Stroll combined are going to get more points than Leclerc does now.
No.
No. They're in bad cars. Yeah.
They can't really do much.
No. Unfortunate, but a lot of it's to do with the car, right?
Yep.
Like Hamilton's like in fifth. McLaren does not have a good car this year. Sorry, Mercedes does not have a good car this year. Which is so weird.
Bash my boys in McLaren.
McLaren probably does that actually, because I think they're third right now. Because right now it's first is Ferrari. I think second is Mercedes. Third is McLaren. Fourth is Red Bull. Something like that. Anyways, those are the top four anyways, right?
First is Ferrari. Second is McLaren. No, first is Ferrari. Second is Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
Third is Red Bull. Fourth is McLaren.
Okay. Yeah, like McLaren's doing okay. Like they're consistently out there. And they have Daniel Ricciardo. So he was probably my favorite guy from the Drive to Survive on Netflix. I really liked him, man. He was pretty cool. I didn't like how he got booted by Red Bull like that. And the Drive to Survive made me really not like Max Verstappen at all.
No?
Yeah. And especially like how the season ended last year made me really not like Max Verstappen because he got handed the win. It was the dirtiest thing, the most corrupt thing in sports that I've seen in a while, and I'm a huge football fan. Like,
yeah, my boy is Lando Norris, so
yeah, Lando's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, so hockey. Then we'll go there real quick. There's a lot to talk about in hockey. So let's start with this. Daniel pointed out a really interesting stat to me. How many players in the top 10 scoring are on Canadian teams? Off the top of your head, how many do you think?
On Canadian teams?
Yeah. How many of the top 10 NHL scorers this year are on Canadian teams?
I'm going to say, because I haven't like researched it or anything because it's off the top of my head. I'm going to say 4.
Okay. So you have in first, Connor McDavid with 110 points.
110? Holy crap.
In second, Huberdeau with Florida, 108.
You said Canadian teams.
Hold up.
Okay.
Just breathe. So it's one in the top 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Leon Draisaitl in third with 105.
Okay.
2. Fourth, Austin Matthews, 101. Also fourth, Johnny Gaudreau, 101. That's 4 of the top 5 are on Canadian teams. Then in sixth is Kirill Kaprizov, 93.
Nice.
Matthew Tkachuk in seventh with 92. Okay. Mitch Marner with 91 in eighth. And also tied for eighth is JT Miller.
7
of the top 9 are on Canadian teams.
Dang.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts. I totally forgot about Gaudreau.
I thought the Canadian division last year was so weak.
Right?
Seriously, though. Canadian teams are showing up, man. Like, Toronto's doing an unreal job.
And all the top 10 Canadians, like the 7 that we mentioned, except for JT Miller, they're all on teams that are making the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, I guess, again, today's Saturday. We're recording at, like, 9:30 p.m. right now. And, like, huge win for the Oilers today. Like, massive win for the Oilers.
Yeah, I think I saw Matthew Owanik's tweet that the Oilers' magic number is 6 now. Just because of that win against the Golden Knights.
Yeah, that's huge. That's absolutely massive, and it does wonders for us because we would much rather play LA Kings without Drew Doughty in the playoffs than we would
and if
Vegas.
The Kings beat Columbus tonight, then it's gonna help even more.
And at this moment, they're up 2-0. Yeah. So we'll see. Kings have to start winning, man. Coyotes started really good against Calgary. So Ryan Whitney and Paul Bissonnette made a bet. And they're talking like they both like Bissonnette thinks that Calgary's going to make it further. Whitney says Edmonton's going to make it further. I'll go with you. Who do you think makes it further in the playoffs, Edmonton or Calgary? Actually, no, I'm going to step up one even more one. Who makes it further, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto? Because I think all 3 teams are really good. I think the best built team in regards to playoff team is Calgary because they have a legitimate superstar goaltender, very strong defense, and very deep forward group. They just don't have a superstar in the front. Like, maybe Gaudreau does that, but until he wakes up in the playoffs, I'm not going to say so, right? And Tkachuk's just a piece of garbage. Like, he's physical and does all that kind of stuff. So he's a decent hockey player. Again, they just don't show up in the playoffs. Right? Toronto has superstars in Matthews and Marner. Mm-hmm. Brilliant supporting cast with Tavares and Nylander. Defense is really decent with Giordano, Brody, Muzzin, Riley. That's a great top 4.
Yeah.
But their goaltending is a question mark. It's Jack Campbell and the young kid. I don't remember what his name is. Because Mrazek's out, man. Like, Mrazek's not playing for them. He goes on waivers for a while. And then Edmonton, I mean, you have the two best players in the world at the moment in McDavid and Draisaitl.
Right
with Nuge, Hyman, Puljujarvi, Kane. Great forward supporting cast. Our defense for me is our weakest thing right now with like Nurse and Ceci. They're playing decent, but I don't think Ceci's a top pairing defenseman by any means. But if they play 7 defensemen, then it makes it a lot easier because they're all less tired, right?
Yeah. And then
our goaltending.
Smith
decided to wake up, and like we said it at the beginning, like there's no way Smith continues this. Yeah, he's had a garbage start to the year. There's no way we could have expected him to be as bad. But it's like it's only what he does moving forward. Like,
and he usually just plays really well at the end of the season and in the playoffs. So,
listen, if we have Smith from last year, a playoff Smith from last year, this team's goaltending issues is not the problem. The way the team's playing together defensively, it's not going to be a problem with playoffs. We have a number 1 shutdown defenseman in Nurse. I truly believe that we do.
And then the way they played against the Golden Knights.
Ceci's like ultra defensive style of game would be a really good complement to Nurse. You know what I mean? It's all about controlling Duncan Keith and Evan Bouchard. They can be our greatest strength, but also our greatest weakness, right? Duncan Keith in the playoffs, I'm really interested and excited to see what he does because I truly believe he's going to step up his game in the playoffs and really show the reason why we brought him in here. If he steps it up, this team has to be one of the favorites. If he doesn't, then I think, you know what, we'll probably make it by the first round, but it's going to be really tough to beat Calgary in the second, if Calgary even makes it to the second round.
Yeah, and like looking how they played today against the Golden Knights, if they could just keep playing like that against the Golden Knights, they can definitely make it far. Maybe have a tough time with Colorado, but like they can make it far.
But Edmonton has played Colorado so well this year too. They played them
so well too. So if they just keep playing like they're playing right now, they can definitely definitely bring it to 7. But to answer your question of who of the 3 Canadian teams that are gonna make it the farthest, I say Edmonton. Their road is a little bit easier, and if like according to like the standings right now, if Nashville, I can see stealing the series against Calgary. I can see Saros just stealing games for Nashville. And then we've played amazing against Nashville too. So
the only team I don't want to play desperately don't want to play in the playoffs is Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
In the Western Conference, that's it. I think Calgary would be probably our toughest matchup because their physicality and how deep the lines they are, and about how horrifically we played them our last meeting. That's going to haunt me for a while. Just straight up it is. 9-5 loss. Awful game. Awful. Both goaltenders couldn't stop a beach ball. Well, we also couldn't prevent any scoring chances against either. It was just awful all around by everyone. Okay. So I'm always going to be skeptical about that. But I still feel like in the playoffs, Edmonton, I don't know, man. We've said it from the beginning. Calgary's the best built team for playoff hockey. But that also being said, they need their stars to perform, and they have not had that in their last 3 playoff years, 3 playoff appearances.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go with that. Because they almost won the President's Trophy that one year, and then they completely got manhandled in the first round. We've seen a good Calgary team like this before, and they always got manhandled in the first round. I think Sutter's going to bring a different element. But I do think Nashville, Saros can steal a series, can steal a game or two.
And their defense is amazing.
Yeah.
With Yossi and Ekholm and all of them. I
think, Toronto's going to have the toughest opposition in the first round by far. It's going to be one of Boston or Tampa. Both of them, I think, are better than LA and Nashville. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Vegas is a better team, I think, than all of them. Vegas probably isn't as good as Tampa, but Vegas is better than Boston. So if Vegas finds a way of sneaking into that third spot, then Edmonton has a very tough time against Vegas. We're not going to sugarcoat this, especially with them getting all their $15 million in cap space back. They're going to be $20 million over the cap for playoff start. So I'd much rather not play them. Just straight up. Calgary has, again, a very well-built team. I just don't feel they have the superstar power that they might need to just will them into the series, you know? And Vegas hasn't even been that good recently, have they? They got Calgary.
Yeah.
Calgary hasn't been that good recently, and they got absolutely manhandled by Vegas. Manhandled that game. It was such a poor.
Just looking at the standings, the last 10 games, Edmonton has been 8-1-1. Calgary has been 6-3-1.
Mm-hmm.
They lost their last game too, so not including this game against Arizona, but.
So after Calgary beat us 9-5, they lost against Colorado, lost against the Kings in the shootout, lost against St. Louis, and then they got 5-game win streak, but then lost again against Vegas 6-1. So yeah, they haven't been the greatest, I guess.
No.
But they also have a really weak opposition. They're going to play Nashville twice on the road to end the season, so that will be a pretty big thing. They're also playing Dallas. Yeah, so they play away in Chicago on Monday. So by the time this episode's released, they would have already played Chicago. Then they play Tuesday, the next day against Nashville in Nashville. Then they play at home to Dallas, at home to Vancouver, away to Nashville, away to Minnesota, and away to Winnipeg. They only play playoff teams after today's game against Arizona, except for Winnipeg. And and Chicago. Nashville and Dallas are dying for playoff spots. Vancouver is in a legitimate race for a playoff spot now that freaking Vegas has gone downhill. Do you see a chance that Vancouver even makes it?
No. Nashville and Dallas are just way too good.
But do they catch up to LA, I'm saying?
Oh, to LA.
They're 4 points behind with a game in hand. There's a chance.
There's a chance. I was going to say to like make it into the wild card, no. But to make it into the third place, yeah, they do have a chance.
It's like, who are they playing? They played.
They're playing really well too. They're in right now. I think they have like a 5-game winning streak. They're going 6-2-2 in the last 10.
So they have a chance because the end of their season is against Dallas at home. The next day against Ottawa at home. Minnesota away is going to be tough, and Calgary away is going to be tough. But then Seattle at home, and then the Kings at home. Their last home game of the season will be against the Kings.
And the Kings are playing really well, so I can see that'd be actually
like they're good. Playing against the right opposition for it.
Yeah,
right. So they just need to make up 1 point on Vegas. And like, if I'm not mistaken, Vegas's schedule isn't the easiest either. Like Vegas will be playing against, I guess New Jersey's an easier team, but against Washington. No, yeah, Vegas's schedule is pretty easy, man. They play against the Devils, and then the Capitals, and then the Sharks. And then all three at home, and then they finish away to Dallas, Chicago, then St. Louis. Yeah, no, that's an easier. They only have the three playoff teams. They play 3 out of playoffs and then 3 in playoff teams.
We'll see.
It's going to be tough for Vancouver, man. Like, yeah.
I'd love to see it, though.
I mean, I don't know. I would much rather play LA in the playoffs than I would Vancouver or Vegas. I'll be honest.
Oh, definitely. But just to have another Canadian team in the playoffs would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just have all 3 Canadian teams in the Pacific just make the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet, hey?
That would be pretty sweet. But if they keep playing like they're playing right now, anything's possible, right? So.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well. And this is without their captain. Bo Horvat's been out for a while.
Yeah.
So this will be a good team next year. This will be a really good team next year. I'm hoping the Oilers clinch second sooner rather than later, so like we don't have to worry about it too much. Like, we're not finishing first. There's no way anymore in the Pacific. Like, that's done. It would have been nice, though, because then we would have played against Nashville in the first round, and that would have been a much better matchup for us than either LA or
Dallas or Vegas.
Or LA or Vegas, depending on who makes it, yeah. I know for a fact that Colorado is just praying to God that Dallas holds on to that last spot over Vegas. Because there's still a slight chance that happens, right? Because Vegas plays against Dallas once. Didn't I say that? I think I said that.
I said that, yeah.
Yeah. There's still a chance because Dallas does not have an easy schedule remaining. So
they're playing well, but yeah, like you said, they don't have an easy schedule. So who knows?
We'll see. Edmonton plays away to Pittsburgh as well. We play against San Jose, I think. Vancouver. It'll be interesting to see, I guess. I'm just glad that we're not playing.
Fine. We just have to stay in second, basically, just to have home ice advantage. But
yeah, that would be electric.
We're making the playoffs. It's just where we're making it is the question.
I'm still knocking on wood because it's not mathematically guaranteed yet, and the Oilers of past would have definitely choked.
No, that's true.
Listen, if our defense holds up the way that we've done the last few games, absolutely. And if Mike Smith continues to play the way he's playing, then there is no question to me this team could be a legitimate dark horse in the playoffs. I don't think, and I rightfully don't think that they should be a favorite to win the cup at all. But
not with basically all of the Eastern Conference and Colorado and Minnesota.
I still think the Eastern Conference is not winning the cup this year. I think it's a Western Conference team. I feel very strongly about that because that is going to be the strongest and deepest playoffs of the Eastern Conference.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think there's going to be a single sweep.
In the East,
I think every series goes minimum 6 games.
Minimum 6 games.
I'm going to call it right now. I think there's going to be, in the first round, every one of the series goes 6 with the exception of whoever Florida plays. I think Florida will sweep. We'll win in 5. But after that, every series goes a minimum 6 games. I don't see a single series going easy. Not one. Whereas in the West, I think Colorado's going to sweep the first round against whoever they play.
I think. Round, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, that's the only one I think. I think they're just so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, because St. Louis and Minnesota are just gonna.
That's gonna be a big round.
That's gonna be.
I honestly think St. Louis wins that though.
I want my boys to win though. Like my
Talbot
third boys. Yeah, I want Minnie to win that series if it goes to that. No, yeah, I would.
Yeah,
say,
but like the only
the West will have like if it's Colorado, then they're gonna have like a nice. Not a nice, but like a easier trip to the finals than anyone in the East. Because like you said, yeah, it's going to be just tons of hockey, tons of like battered bodies. Everyone's going to be super tired. And then, yeah, the West will be like any of them, really. Colorado easier, but any of them can probably like win like 5.
Yeah.
So.
That's going to be an unreal... This playoffs is going to be unreal. You know, the only thing I don't like about this playoffs, though, is the freaking new logo.
Oh, my God.
That new logo is so garbage, hey? It's so ugly, man. I don't know.
The old one was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why they changed it. It's so bad. Thank you for reminding me of it. Oh, my God.
So, I think that's it for hockey. And you know what we forgot to do last week? We forgot to do our performer of the week.
We did it.
I don't think we did.
I think we did.
Whatever,
we'll do it.
We didn't. I didn't forget about it this week, though.
No, you didn't this week. Yeah, you didn't forget it.
So let's do our Canadian performer of the week. Since I remembered, I can go first.
Okay.
My Canadian performer of the week is Canadian-born, not representing Canada, but Canadian-born. And I'm going to talk about individual player or individual game. It obviously has to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. After getting stepped on too, like having to get 2 stitches on his finger and
stepped on?
Yeah, he got stepped on right before his first at bat, I think, and then he's like, or was it after? Anyways, he got stepped on, needing 2 stitches. He had to go out, come back, and he just hammers 3 home runs for 1,200 feet total, over 1,200 feet total. Absolutely annihilates it on Garrett Cole, who's a legitimate top 5 pitcher in the entire MLB, and he got props by the entire city of New York. They're just like, wow, this guy is legit, unreal. He's the best hitter in baseball. It has to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., man. Canadian born. He unfortunately represents the Dominican, and he does not speak a lick of English, but. Yeah, my performer of the week is Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Fair. I'm just gonna stay local. Mine is gonna be Mike Smith. Back-to-back shoutouts, like in back-to-back in 2 performances or 2 starts. He finally wakes up after everyone wanting him to start waking up. If we have this Mike Smith, like we said earlier in the podcast, we can probably go pretty far. We play very well against Colorado, and if we meet them in the conference finals, I can see us winning. Like, I can see us going to 7 or 6, and if we play just like how we've been playing Colorado, we can definitely steal some games.
Yep. Not a bad choice. My fantasy goalie, Mike Smith, with 2 back-to-back shutouts. That's huge points for me. Huge points for me. And then maybe next episode we'll do our final year recap of our point totals for our players.
We haven't done that in forever.
No, that's why we can just do it now. I mean, we're not going to pick up or drop any players because there's no way we can do it with the salary cap now and all that stuff. Like, although I could have done it pretty easily, just switch Skinner with Smith, but it wouldn't be fair to you, I don't think. So we're just going to teams we drafted. We're just going to stick with them.
Yep.
So
we're going to see how well we did, and I know I am going to lose, even though I have
because you have McDavid, but I have Huberdeau right after.
Yeah.
And Huberdeau, no, he doesn't have as many goals. No. I got Nurse with 2 shorthanded goals this week, or 2 shorthanded points this week. So yeah, honorable mention actually, that freaking Darnell Nurse, man, huge in the 2 shutouts, huge, and then 2 shorthanded points. We also got Nuge with a shorthanded goal today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, we'll see. We'll see. I think I crushed you. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah,
with you. I think I crushed.
I screwed myself over with McDavid because he's just too expensive.
Yes and no. You got some good value contracts in there. I had a terrible pick in Jake Evans.
I had a worse pick in Nick Ritchie.
Oh, yeah. He's in the AHL. Yeah, that was a bad pick.
That was the worst.
Michael Bunting would have been a much better pick. But who would have known? That's the thing about fantasy hockey. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. But anyways, I think that's everything for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our 26th official episode of the CANAS podcast. It gets more fun and more fun every single week, hey? Mm-hmm. It's just a great time, man. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode this week. And we'll see you. There will be no midweek episode this week. I forgot to mention that. So we'll see you next week for episode 27 of the CANAS podcast. Thank you, everybody.